Metabolism and lifestyle causes of 5 different cancers over 16 years. Using VMT method, number 1371, VMT Sharp 712, September 29, 2025. Gerald C. EclaireMD Foundation. Category, Cancers. Preface. My father belonged to the very first generation of German-trained surgeons in Western medicine in China, nearly a century ago. In 1937, when war erupted between China and Japan, he volunteered to serve in the Chinese army in Shanghai. On the battlefield, his mission was clear and urgent: to save the lives of thousands of wounded soldiers. I chose a very different path. After high school, I immersed myself in mathematics, computer science, physics, engineering, and business. I built a career in naval and aerospace defense, nuclear power, computers, and various AI-based engineering applications, and eventually founded a successful AI-driven semiconductor IC chip design company. I also became the first and most successful Asian American CEO on Wall Street in 1995. Yet life tested me. By 2002, at the age of 55, I had already survived 3 heart attacks. That crisis forced me to sell my company and turn my attention inward. I began a 9-year journey of self-study in psychology, and established a charitable psychotherapy program for 250 abandoned children and abused women. 9 years later, in 2010 at age 63, my health reached another breaking point. Neuropathy and retinopathy had set in, and kidney dialysis loomed ahead. I stopped everything else and began to self-study internal medicine, without institutions, teachers, colleagues, or patients. This was not out of academic curiosity, but out of necessity. My sole goal was to save my own life. Then came June 21, 2025. At age 78, I suffered my first stroke. Over the past 3 months, the golden period of stroke recovery, I have come to a powerful realization. Without consciously planning it, I have been walking in my father's footsteps. From the 1930s through the 1980s, he devoted his life to saving others. From 2010 until now, I have devoted my life to saving myself. The deeper truth is this: if I cannot save my own life, I cannot help anyone else. This conviction has carried me for the past 16 years. It has fueled my determination to uncover the causes and mechanisms of many mortality diseases: diabetes, heart disease, kidney failure, stroke, dementia, and cancer. Dementia and cancer are the only 2 major categories I have not yet personally suffered, but they are the ones I fear most. That is why I have single-handedly written and published 1,370 medical research papers since 2010. My father saved lives on the battlefield. Through his surgical experience and skill, I am fighting my battles with brain, heart, fingers, pen, data, graphs, PC, iPhone, medical AI software, commercial AI tools, and relentless reading, self-study, and research, not just for myself, but so others may live longer and healthier lives through my self-learned medical knowledge, disease experience, and medical research findings. I share these insights through social media and YouTube in multiple languages, with ordinary patients and their families, because saving lives matters more to me than credibility or fame. Traditional medical journals and conferences mainly serve recognition within a small circle of professionals. While my focus is reaching the people who need this knowledge most, please allow me to repeat: my purpose now is simply to save the lives of ordinary people by sharing the knowledge of health and medicine I have learned. Introduction. Cancer arises from 3 main drivers: genetics, environment, and metabolic lifestyle factors. Genetics and environmental exposures are difficult for me, a single individual outsider, to analyze. My research therefore focuses on metabolism and lifestyle, where long-term data can be collected and quantified. Metabolic and lifestyle links. Cancers tied to metabolism share common roots: excess fat, poor glucose control, and chronic low-grade inflammation. 3 biomarkers: obesity, especially visceral fat, diabetes, and health age, combine with 2 lifestyle drivers: diet and activity with sleep. Together, they create an internal environment favorable for cancer growth. 5 cancer pathways. 1. Liver cancer, for both genders. Mechanism: excess calories and sugar lead to fatty liver, inflammation, and scarring. Diabetes worsens damage by sustaining high sugar and insulin. Biomarkers: obesity and belly fat drive liver fat and inflammation. Health age shows accumulated injury. Lifestyle: sugary foods and inactivity accelerate disease. 2. Colorectal cancer, for both genders. Mechanism: fat and high sugar accelerate abnormal colon cell growth. Low fiber slows waste removal, while poor diet disrupts gut bacteria. Biomarkers: obesity raises inflammation. Diabetes fuels abnormal growth. Lifestyle: processed meats and low fiber raise risk. Exercise and sleep protect bowel health. 3. Pancreatic cancer, for both genders. Mechanism: The pancreas is overworked in obesity and diabetes. High insulin acts like fertilizer for cancer cells, while sugar damages DNA. Biomarkers: diabetes is one of the strongest driver, with obesity adding stress. Lifestyle: sugary foods, inactivity, and poor sleep maintain high insulin and hormone imbalance. 4. Breast cancer, postmenopausal, for female. Mechanism: after menopause, fat tissue becomes the main source of estrogen. More fat means more estrogen, a female reproductive regulator hormone, pushing breast cells to grow. Biomarkers: obesity supplies estrogen. Diabetes and inflammation add further growth signals. Lifestyle: excess calories sustain fat stores. Exercise and sleep help regulate hormones. 5. Endometrial cancer, for female. Mechanism: the uterine lining is highly sensitive to estrogen. Fat tissue produces excess estrogen without enough progesterone balance, a female reproductive hormone made mainly by the ovaries. Biomarkers: obesity and diabetes are key drivers. Lifestyle: high fat, high sugar diets increase obesity. Exercise lowers estrogen, while poor sleep disrupts reproductive hormones. Common threads across all 5 cancers: obesity and visceral fat fuel inflammation and hormone imbalance. Diabetes, insulin resistance, and high blood sugar promote abnormal growth. Health age reflects long-term wear and tear. Poor diet, inactivity, and insufficient sleep remove natural protection. In simple terms, too much fat and sugar, too little movement or exercise, and insufficient sleep, that is the soil where cancer thrives. VMT Cancer Risk Index. Using the Viscoplastic Energy Model, cancer risk is defined as the cancer risk index equals 100 times the sum of 26% for obesity, 25% for diabetes, 24% for health age, 14% for diet, and 11% for steps and sleep. 5 key inputs are normalized and weighted into the final cancer risk index. 1. Obesity, 26%, visceral fat, 65%, is the strongest driver, fueling inflammation and hormonal imbalance. Body weight, 35%, is secondary. 2. Diabetes, 25%, FPG, 60%, normalized at 90 mg per deciliter, reflects insulin resistance. EcG, 40%, normalized at 120 mg per deciliter, reflects long-term glycemic load. 3. Health age, 24%, a composite of 10 influencers, 4 biomarkers: weight, glucose, blood pressure, lipids, and 6 lifestyle factors. Diet, exercise, sleep, stress, hydration, daily routine. A higher health age signals accelerated health decline. 4. Diet, 14%, food portion, 45%, normalized by personal targeted grams or calories. Carbohydrate, sugar intake, 55%, normalized by personal targeted grams. 5. Steps and sleep, 11%. Steps, 40%, normalized at 12,000 steps or 12K steps per day. Walking has a great benefit on glucose control. Sleep, 60%, normalized at an overall 0.60 score for adequate sleep hours and sleep quality. Both lower inflammation, improve insulin sensitivity, and restore immune balance. Conclusions from my VMT energy analysis results. The VMT energy analysis of my cancer risk between 2010 and 2025 reveals several important findings. First, the overall cancer risk index showed a dramatic decline, from 176 units in 2010, down to 84 units in 2025, representing a 52% reduction. The critical turning point occurred in 2015, after which the curve flattened and stabilized at a much lower level. This stability indicates that my cancer risk has remained under control for the past decade. Second, all 5 input stressors demonstrated strong correlations, with the cancer index ranging from 81% for health age to 98% for type 2 diabetes. This confirms that each factor is mechanistically linked to cancer development, and improvements in any one of them can shift the trajectory of overall cancer risk. Third, the VMT energy contribution ratios clarify the relative importance of each input stress. Diet, which includes food portion size, obesity, and carbohydrate sugar intake, accounted for the largest share at 25%. Type 2 diabetes, measured through fasting plasma, glucose and estimated average glucose, contributed 24%, almost as significant as diet. Steps and sleep together contributed 19%, while obesity contributed 17%. Health age, calculated from a composite score of 10 biomarkers and lifestyle factors, had the smallest, but still meaningful impact at 15%. Finally, the cumulative VMT energy curve shows that by 2015, 96% of the total stress-strain energy linked to cancer risk had already been accumulated. This means that the bulk of my cancer risk was built during the earlier years of neglect, before lifestyle interventions took hold. After 2016, the curve flattened, reflecting that discipline management in food intake, glucose control, activity, and sleep successfully prevented further accumulation of cancer-related stress energy. In summary, 96% of my cancer risk, VMT energy accumulated during the initial 6 years, from 2010 to 2015, with only 4% added over the subsequent 10 years, from 2016 to 2025. My personal analyzed data demonstrate that cancer risk is not only strongly influenced by diet and diabetes, but also by the cumulative VMT energy of stress-strain interactions, derived from 5 defined input stresses. During the early years, insufficient chronic disease control and inadequate lifestyle management contributed to 96% of the total cancer-related VMT energy. After 2015, however, my strengthened and sustained control of body, weight and glucose through strict lifestyle discipline limited further accumulation to only 4%. This stabilization has been critical in preventing cancer onset. These findings emphasize both the severe risks of early neglect and the protective power of long-term lifestyle management in reducing cumulative cancer, VMT energy and controlling overall cancer risk. Disclaimer: this content is for educational reference only and not medical advice. No doctor-patient relationship is created. You may share this summary freely, but it must not be edited or republished as your own. All intellectual property rights and copyrights for this article and its related materials belong to the author, Gerald C. Shu.